afternoon, good morning, good evening, whichever part you're located when you're listening to this podcast. My name is Yannick Higgs, and I'm the host of our Georgia chapter of American College of Healthcare Executives, and we're here to inspire you, sharing healthcare leadership concepts and principles that would help you to become a better leader, a better executive, so you can continue to advance in your role in healthcare. Today, we have our special guest, amazing leader, executive, and she's going to share some incredible nuggets that you can take and apply it in both your personal and professional life. So I have today Melissa. Hey, Melissa, welcome to today's episode.
Thank you so much for having me, Yannick. I am so excited to be here.
Well, that's great. So before this podcast, I think maybe a week or a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with Melissa, got to know her. Her experience is incredible. But Melissa, your background is, you're a healthcare IT executive, and now you're with Home Helpers. Just kind of walk us through, kind of share your experience. How, what made you make the transition going from healthcare IT executive? Share with us that experience, maybe what got you into healthcare executive IT or technology, what got you into that in the first place, and what made you make the transition from healthcare technology executive to home helpers? And you can also educate us about home helpers.
Thank you for that, Yannick. Let me make sure that was a whole lot in your question, so let me make sure that I have it correct. So the first part of the question was, what about my healthcare IT executive journey? And the second part is why the transition into home helpers. Is that right?
Yeah. So what got you into healthcare technology in the first place, right? What got you into that? And then the second part, now you're with Home Helpers, which it's your business. So what made you make the transition
Great.
from
Yeah, thank you for those questions. What got me into healthcare IT to start? I started I started in technical support. I enjoyed troubleshooting and fixing things. As I transitioned through my career, I found myself drawn to helping and connecting with people rather than just systems. And my journey through college, I focused on management, particularly operations management. I like to see how things work together and flow
Mhm.
smoothly. Most of my career has been in management and leadership, and that's why Toastmasters was so important. Toastmasters is, yes, it's about leadership, but at the end of the day, it's about connecting with people and developing relationships. So, what better way to do that than to make sure you know how to effectively communicate as a leader? That is so critical when you're connecting with people, especially staff, not only just staff, but clients, to make sure that they feel seen and heard, that you understand what their challenges are so that you can go about to helping them address it. The second part of that, I guess my second chapter is deeply personal.
Mhm.
My parents, my father has Alzheimer's, so
Mhm.
watching him um, navigate the challenges of the healthcare system, along with my mom, who's his primary caregiver, and also my mother-in-law who has Parkinson's, and watching my husband navigate her care really inspired me to work in a industry that has more meaningful impact that I can make in the community that can be seen. The other part of that again is because it's deeply personal. So those are the factors of the industries that I was in, and where I am now.
Wow, that is incredible. Um, yeah, you are a connector of people, and you mentioned, of course, Toastmasters. I'll definitely come to that because I think that would also be a valuable thing to be able to share a little bit about, your experience in Toastmasters and why it would be beneficial to these people. But so what motivated you to make the transition? I know you just kind of maybe expansion on that. What was kind of more the motivating factor, and how have your personal experiences with your parents, right, and then mother-in-law helped to shape that? What was some of maybe the defining moment for you?
The motivating factor is really wanting to make an impact in the community. And it was inspired by the challenges of being a caregiver for my parents and my husband being a caregiver for his mom, just seeing firsthand the challenges that they face as they try to navigate.
Mm,
I think for myself personally, as a child of immigrant parents, we're
mm,
automatically built in as the translators, if you will. So helping them to navigate the healthcare system with their
mm,
appointments and really trying to understand, well, what does this test really mean? Or helping
mm,
them to navigate Social Security and understanding what benefits are available out there. Um, walking that journey and really understanding the challenges, at least from that perspective, gave me a deeper appreciation for knowing that there are many other families out there that are struggling with that and also managing a career and also trying to raise a family. So we're affectionately known as, if you will, the sandwich generation.
Wow, of course, let's say, my parents also immigrated from Cameroon, and I'm also from Cameroon, even though I was born in Dallas, but I grew up mostly in Cameroon in West Africa. So I can understand when you talk about immigrants, parents, and navigating the healthcare system. And, my background as a pharmacist, my mom, she's a nurse, and my grandma is, who have the privilege to having her also here in the States, and her having some health issues, and there's this privilege that my auntie, her daughter is a medical doctor, to be able to help her kind of navigate some of the challenges. Just imagine if she, you don't have that. So the challenge is using that now to make things better. So I can definitely understand when you share that. I can feel the passion, and I'm sure that will come across, and you can help a whole lot of people to navigate that. So that is powerful. That's a calling. So now you mentioned about Toastmasters, that is really incredible. First thing first, you know, what is Toastmasters, and what is the impact that, from what you've learned maybe in Toastmasters, as far as communication and speaking skills can have on healthcare executives, and just kind of navigating their role?
Toastmasters is a leadership organization that provides a safe space for people that are leaders or emerging leaders to help them improve their communication skills. Uh, I think that is first and foremost. When when I first joined Toastmasters, I had a need. I was a relatively new executive and I really wanted to focus on my executive presence. But my boss at the time had said, you know what, Melissa, you're going to get up and present in front of 200 of the top leaders of the company.
Mm,
Being relatively new in my role, I and not really a fan of public speaking, I was terrified. So I knew that was a motivating factor for me to immediately join Toastmasters, particularly ACHE of Georgia Toastmasters. It was in the realm of healthcare, so it made sense for me. I have certainly moved on from that particular role, but what I've learned in joining Toastmasters is really helping to build my level of confidence in
Mhm.
my ability to communicate effectively, and knowing that really everyone else that is there, we're all there for the same reasons. No
Mm,
matter how well spoken one may be, which is really impressive and inspiring for myself and others, because understand that someone is always watching and learning from how you present yourself. But it, it, it and I've just lost my train of thought, but it's
mm,
intentional. You're realizing that people are there, they show up, they practice, they put in the time and effort. It's a volunteer organization, so no one has to be there unless their job paid for it. But they showed
mm.
up, they took the time to write a speech, and the team or the members are there to provide constructive feedback so that they can continue to work on their speeches and improve their public speaking. It's incredibly powerful. As
Mm.
I've stayed on, I would say it's been over 3 years, I believe, since I've joined. And
Wow.
I've continued to stay on because of the members that show up. They want to improve themselves, and I'm uh, happy to be someone there to help cheer them on, to help provide support, and to help help someone else's growth in their career. It's been amazing to see the growth of many leaders in that organization, both emerging and tenured. It really spans the gamut in terms of who shows up to those meetings.
Great. I mean, like she said, if you want to improve your communication and speaking skills and confidence, hey, join the ACHE of Georgia Toastmasters Club, right? Just sign up, all right? What better? Melissa she's the outgoing president of the club, so just being um joining the Toastmasters maybe over 3 years ago, not only did she go there to improve her executive presence and ability to communicate and speak in front of people. She took leadership roles and became the president and just kind of pass it on. That's amazing. I started my speaking journey with Toastmasters in 2016, and that helped me significantly as well. And it was Toastmasters that got me started. And now I'm a professional speaker, but it all started. Toastmasters helped me to build those speaking confidence, getting in front of a group. So definitely a great um, organization, and you should check it out. Yeah. So before we go to the final question and kind of set the stage and kind of give some practical advice, we just kind of do like a little fun question. So what do you like to do for fun? When all is said and done, what are some of the things outside of work that is fun, that is just exciting? So let's know the other side of Melissa.
Thank you for that question, Yannick. What I like to do for fun outside of work is, and this is going to sound a little funny, we are heavily into pickleball,
Oh,
and that is something that my husband and I really enjoy, including our friends. And so we're a bit of a pickleball fanatic, and the goal would be to be retirees eventually and travel the world and be pickleball players.
be pickleball fanatics. Man, wow, pickleball is becoming just way more popular. People are getting into it. My mentor, he was playing golf and then he got into pickleball. And this is just a couple of years ago. And he just sounded funny. It was like, man, this is for old folks and stuff. But now pickleball is, I mean, I'm hearing 18-year-olds, high school, they're getting into pickleball. So now I'm probably even considering pickleball. Maybe I should.
You are more than welcome to join us anytime, Yannick. What's interesting is it's very similar in that it's a connector sport. It's a very social sport. I can play with someone that is 18 years old, and I have 18 years old all the way up to people in their 90s. So it's a great way to meet people, all walks of life, and socially, it's fantastic. It, it's just different because not every day can you play a sport where you meet someone that is 18 or 90. So I just love that about pickleball.
Wow, wow. Yeah, but I need to check it out. You know, I'm a competitor, so when I'm there, I want to win. Have fun, have fun and win. Yeah, maybe check out pickleball. Honestly, I think maybe that's what I'll probably look into. So yeah, so let's this has been amazing. You know, final question before you know, by the way, before we do the final question for you, for the members. What is you know, how can the, you know, up and coming healthcare executives and, you know, how can they reach out to you if they want more information about Toastmasters, about home helpers, just about, you know, what would be a good way for them to contact you?
They can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm out there on LinkedIn. I don't know my handle, or they can reach me at my email address at madams@homehelpershomecare.com. I'm happy to have a conversation, provide any insight, impart what may or may not be wisdom, but certainly some information that could potentially help them move along in their career. Certainly something that I would have loved to have had as I was up and coming in mine.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And final question for you, Melissa, as we're wrapping up. So, what advice, practical advice, would you give for, you know, healthcare leaders, whether it's up and coming, maybe emerging, evolving executive, to grow their influence, communication skills, or entrepreneurship as the, you know, as they may be growing in their healthcare journey? What advice would you give to them, especially based on your experience?
Based upon my experience, it, if I had to do it all over again, I would say join Toastmasters. Join Toastmasters early in your career and build those relationships. Learn how to effectively communicate and establish those relationships and build trust. I think more than anything else, in order to have influence, in order to, yeah, in order to have influence, it really comes down to building relationships and building that trust.
Excellent. So join Toastmasters early. It's about building, like she said, building relationship of know, like, and trust, right? They got to trust you and you can grow your influence, communication skills, and be successful as a leader. So those are great practical takeaways that you can take to become a better executive and better leader. So, well, Melissa, just want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for your time, for your knowledge and your insight and the work that you're doing. Just, you know, in healthcare, executive to entrepreneurship, and continue to impact the community. Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Yannick. I appreciate you having me on, and you certainly are very impressive and an inspiration to all of us. So I know you're interviewing me, but I just want to let you know how impressed I am with you and your journey as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I take great delight for your compliment and your comments. Thank you.